Homage to the Venerable Monk Liaoming. Homage to Master Sakya Dzogchen. Homage to His Eminence the 16th Dharma King Karmapa. And homage to Master Dukten Dorji. Homage to the three jewels on the altar. Homage to the main deity of group practice today, Mahajundi Buddha Mother. All Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, temple directors, all disciples present here and over the internet, and our participating VIPs today. From the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Taiwan, Secretary General Daniel Liao's wife, Dharma Sister Judy. Accountant to the True Buddha Foundation, Dharma Sister Teresa. A former assistant to the former Vice President Li Xiulian and PR Director of the International Business Movement Association, Dharma Sister Chue Hui-Ling. From the Sunny Line Dancer of Taiwan, Dharma Sister Lin Yixuan. And from Fuxing Airline, Dharma Sister Wu Mei-Xin. Dr. Ryan Zong. And the advising attorney to the True Buddha Tantrayana Association of Taiwan, Dr. Lu Wenxiang. Good evening, everyone. How do you do? In Cantonese. Today we had the group practice of Mahajundi Buddha Mother as the deity yoga. Mahajundi was the main deity or yidam of one of my gurus, Master Pu Fang, as you could see here in the picture. This is the yidam of Master Pu Fang. And he built a temple called Zhongci Temple. And on the walls of the temple, they're all Mahajundi Buddha Mother. And the temple is called Zhongci, which means complete or general, because the mudra formed by Mahajundi Buddha Mother is called the general mudra or the complete mudra. So this mudra is called the general mudra. So this is the mudra of Mahajundi Buddha Mother. And why is this mudra called the complete or general mudra? Because at the beginning of forming all kinds of mudras, or the mudra transformation, you would first form this mudra, which is the general mudra. And this is the same mudra formed by Mahachundi Buddha Mother, which is formed by the two hands at the center, and then surrounded by other 16 hands, for a total of 18 arms. So if the mudra formed at the center is this mudra, then that deity would be Mahachundi. In the beginning, when performed this Mahachundi Dharma, Master Pu Fang taught me to practice the 4 preliminary practices, and he taught me in Taiwanese. So it is the root guru yoga of Master Pu Fang. So after the 4 preliminaries, that would be root guru yoga, and then he taught me to perform the practice of Mahachundi. So he transmitted several Dharma to me. That's why Mahachundi is considered one of the 8 primary deities of True Buddha School. And there's a reason behind this. And my Dharma name, when I took refuge, my Dharma name was Yuan Ci. Yuan meaning perfect. Pond. It's like a lake, so pond. So Yuan Ci, or perfect pond. That was my Dharma name. All of my gurus have left the world, and Master Pu Fang had passed away earlier. One of my gurus who had left the world earlier, and he also practiced Tibetan Tantrayana as well as Japanese Tantrayana, and also the Chinese Tantrayana. So he embraced both Mahayana and Tantrayana Buddhism. So he wasn't wearing Tibetan style Dharma robe, but this one that I'm wearing now was instructed to me by Master Thubten Dorji. Before, I was wearing the Buddhist robe from the Mahayana tradition, because I was ordained. My hair was shaven by Guo Shen, the great monk Guo Shen of some temple in Hong Kong. And he was a lineage holder of a Lingji tradition of Zen Buddhism. And from his Dharma name, you could tell which generation he's from, like Guo, like with the suffix Guo or the prefix Guo. So from the Lingji school, not all of them were named Guo, but on that generation, that would be named Guo, and many of them. And the Venerable Guo Xian shaved my hair. Actually, he took refuge in me, and then this disciple of mine ordained me to be a monk. So this is really peculiar that in the past, Huineng, the sixth patriarch, had a great monk took refuge in him. And then this great monk ordained Huineng, the sixth patriarch. So he was ordained by his disciple. The same with me. The Venerable Xian took refuge in me, and then later on he ordained me. The same with the sixth patriarch Huineng. So the ordained guru was the great monk Xian of Hong Kong. Wisdom. Oh, the Wisdom Spring Temple. And then I also took refuge in Master Pu Fang. And then later on, I studied and practiced Tibetan Buddhism. So Master Thupten Dorji asked me to change my robes into the Tibetan style. But actually, Tibetan Buddhist robes are not like this. Chinese are smarter and more creative. So what we wear now is more practical, more easy, light and easy. In the ancient times, like those worn in Thailand, it's like a piece of cloth, and then you just wrap it around your body. That's the outfit for Hinayana practitioners, the same as Sakyamuni Buddha. And they showed their right shoulder and hold the rope. And the true Tibetan Buddhist robe is the same. They showed the right shoulder and arm. One time we asked Tenzin Kesher from Atlanta. I asked him, why do you always want to show the right shoulder and arm? And he said, so you would look sexier. No, but that's not the case. Because in the sutras, you can see that when Ananda was about to ask for a teaching, he would circumambulate it 3 times and then showed his right arm and then kneel down and ask for some pith instructions, because you were only given upon asking. So only if someone asks for a teaching, that the teaching will be given. So according to the Buddhist tradition, you have to show the right shoulder and arm for lamas. But for Chinese, we are smarter, so we wear it like this. And they also have the meditation robe. And you wrap it, and then you throw this end, and then over here, you pull it forward to hold it down. Is it left or right shoulder? the right shoulder, showing the right shoulder. So the lamas from the Tibetan Tantrayana tradition is still like that. Their lama skirt is not like ours with elastic, but they use the rope to tie it and then turn it over and then wear the upper shirt and then also wrap the meditation cloth over it. But they have also been modified. And here with us, it's modified even more with 2 sleeves, and then we use elastic. And when they saw us, wow, this is so convenient. Where they have to tie the rope and all that. It wasn't so. It's not so easy for them. And the rope was also made of the same cloth. So there are many different kinds of Dharma robes. And the Mahachundi deity yoga was transmitted to me by Master Pu Fang. And according to Mahachundi, Buddha Mother, according to Master Pu Fang, Mahachundi Buddha Mother was truly great, which means she is of the 7 Kadi, which means that many, many Buddhas were generated from Mahachundi Buddha Mother. So, Buddhas of the 7 Kadis, K-O-T-I, Kadis, were generated from Mahachundi Buddha Mother. So this Buddha Mother is truly great. In Tantric Buddhism, in the Dharma Dhatu and Vajra Dhatu, she is part of the Kuan Yin quarter. So she is also an emanation of Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. So you need to know about his origin. So the complete or the general mudra was the mudra formed by Mahachundi, and Master Pu Fang is founded this complete or general school. And all mudras started with this mudra, the general mudra, before the mudra transformations. So there are several variations. Like if you open the 2 index fingers, this becomes the mudra of Taras. And also Golden Mother Mudra. And then the other mudra that's also close, you extend the 2 pinkies. So whose mudra is this? 2 pinkies upright and touching each other. The middle fingers upright and touching each other. The index fingers open. And the 2 thumbs side by side. And the ring fingers are inward. So what mudra is this? This is Vajrapani mudra. Vajrapani's mudra. So the 3 mudras are similar. And then if you bend the pinkies inward, this would be the Tara's mudra and Golden Mother's mudra. And then if the two index fingers are bent and placed at the index fingers and at the middle fingers, then this would be Majundi mudra. It's easy to memorize this way. In Taiwan, I will transmit the Vajrapani Dharma for the New Year ceremony 2016. There are three reliances. One is the four-armed Guan Yin, representing compassion, Manjusri, representing wisdom, and Vajrapani, or Vajra hand, Bodhisattva, representing Dharma power. I thought I have transmitted all these three deities. It's not so. Someone asked me, how come you never transmitted Vajrapani Bodhisattva? But every day we always do this Om Purantari. And Om Purantari is the heart mantra of Vajrapani. He has another mantra. A true heart mantra of Vajrapani is that. It sounds something like this. That's Vajrapani's mantra. Om Pecha Puru Hompe. Now we've completed the talk on Majundi. Now let's continue on Great Perfection Dharma. At the moment a person is awakened to Trekcho, his or her own luminosity shine forth, covering all the 1,000 worlds, all heaven and earth. The small I and everything completely dissolve into the state of no self, and they all merge together to become one. Guru Patsasambhava said, there is a reason why I transmitted Trekcho to you today. I replied, please explain. Living Buddha Lianzeng can use his pen to guide sentient beings to see their natures, with wisdom as the mother and skillful means as the father. He teaches myriad ways to sentient beings. So, at the moment a person is awakened to Cheche, Trekcho, or cutting thoroughly, his or her luminosity shine forth. We often say pay. I have actually this word pay means cut. It's very easy to remember this word because in Chinese, if someone says something and you say pay, that means like, phew, nonsense. You don't want to listen to it. In Chinese, it's written like that, with a mouth and a nose and one, which means cut. Cut. When you have your thoughts running and keep thinking about something, and then you thought, well, but I'm in the middle of a sutra recitation, then you can just say pei to clean it all up. For all Dharma protectors, the last of the mantra is hom pei, meaning completely cleansing or purifying. Only when a human being has no thoughts whatsoever that he could shine his radiance. Like in Trekcho, when you cut them completely, then the light can merge into you. Like in meditation, you also want to say pei to cut off all the thoughts. The sixth patriarch Lu-Ling said, if you don't cut all the unceasing thoughts, the poor body is as long as that. What the sixth patriarch said was right. He thought that all the thoughts and the Buddha nature are irrelevant. Puti is one rank or one state, and your thoughts is another state. If your thoughts do not interfere with the Buddha nature, then the Buddha nature is as long. So what he said was right. Even when you have so many thoughts influencing your Buddha nature, the Buddha nature is still as permanent as that. But in order to let the Buddha nature to appear, you need to pay your thoughts, to cut off all your thoughts. And the sixth patriarch Lu-Ling could cut off the thoughts from the Buddha nature, that the two of them are irrelevant of each other. But for us, the mandate people cannot do that. So we could only decrease our thoughts until we are purified, and only then the Buddha nature would be able to appear. That's the concept. There are many the practitioners from the past that said that Mahayoga is the phenomena of a perfect Qi practitioner. And Mahamudra is the same as Trekcho, which is purifying yourself. Within the boundary of purification, that's all Mahamudra or Trekcho. That's why the Mahamudra is called the pure Mahamudra or purifying Mahamudra, or the Ganga Mahamudra, or the luminous Mahamudra. Once you have Trekcho, once you're purified completely, then the radiance of the Buddha nature appears. Then only then it would be called Mahamudra. And how about great perfection? Great perfection practices only your clear light, luminosity or radiance. So primarily, train or practice your light. And Mahamudra is to practice your light drops, and Mahayoga to practice your Qi or vital energy, and Anuyoga is to practice the light drops. And Ati Yoga, that's great perfection or Dzogchen, is to practice your luminosity or radiance. So those are the differences among them. Let me share a joke, otherwise you start yawning listening to that. The fortune teller made a prediction or divination on my son. It was so accurate. And the neighbor asked, "What did the fortune teller say about your son?" And the mom said that when my son grows up, he would have the chance to drive all kinds of nice cars. And the neighbor said, "Wow, so nice. So your son would be successful, that he would drive all kinds of nice or really nice cars." And the mom said, "Oh, how could it be? He's just one who is parking the valley, parking cars." So there are different ranks. There are some people who are truly rich, who would drive all kinds of expensive cars. Bill Gates is very rich, is the richest, but he doesn't have that many luxury cars. But his partner was also very rich, but not as rich as Bill Gates, and he built a parking lot. You know, the multi-level parking lot, that's inside his house. So he built a private parking lot for his cars, for his own cars. He had hundreds of Ferraris and all the world-class luxury cars. Such a person does exist. Someone visited his parking lot filled with almost 500 Ferraris and cars and other cars. Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Bentleys are garbage. That's, for him, that's like garbage. So he had all the race cars, sports cars from all different countries, all inside his parking lot, his car park. And he invited people who own also luxury cars to visit. Only he was qualified to drive those world-class cars. But the person who parks cars at the valet parking, he doesn't own those cars. But think about it. What do you really own? Nothing. Because one day, whatever you own would become somebody else's. You cannot bring them with you. Bring whatever you own with you when you leave. When a human being leaves the world, they would go empty-handed. They cannot bring anything. It's like the poem of Shizumo. Just wave your hands, and you can't even carry a piece of cloud. You can't even take a cloud with you. Who sang that the other day? Goodbye, the Kang Bridge. What was it called, the song that you sang? You can't have them forever. So wave your hand. You can't even bring a cloud with you. When you have so many cars, all you have on your mind are your hundreds of Ferraris. And only by stopping the thoughts you can be purified. Otherwise, all you have on your mind are your cars, the Ferraris. You just always play with them. But one day, you cannot play with them anymore. Your cars would belong to someone else. So you need to think about this. And with Trepcho, you cut off everything. By cutting off everything, you can be purified. Or you can still have thoughts, but you don't let them influence your Buddha nature. That's why there's this similar, the analogy, like a child looking at the painting. Like when a child enters into a library with the painting exhibition from the world, when the child was taking a look at the paintings, they don't stay on his mind after he finished. Whether they belong to Monet or Gauguin or any other renowned painters of the world, he doesn't know any of those. Whether they are abstract or impressionistic or realistic or whatever, he doesn't care because he doesn't know about that. He just walked by and was totally uninfluenced by them. So this was said by the sixth patriarch Huineng, and he was capable of that. So you could see all those world-class cars, all those luxury cars, but you don't keep them on your mind because you can't afford buying them. But those are really top, high-class cars. Some Ferrari costs $1 million, but you don't keep them on your mind, and that's fine. Then none of your business. So that's how you cut them off. And the sixth patriarch Huineng was capable of cutting them off like that. And we should learn like that. That in the future, although you have thoughts, but you don't affect your Buddha nature. This is the same as structure. Although the afflictions are that long, the body is also as long, but they are mutually exclusive. They are not influenced. Otherwise, you need to learn how to cut them off thoroughly. Just now, I found an iPhone in the park, and I wanted to return it to the owner. But the owner called me and said, you should return my phone because it has just GPS and I know where it is now. So I got really mad hearing that, and I bought a number of balloons and tied the iPhone on several balloons, and then to let the balloons take the iPhone wherever they fly to. And that was like a revenge for the owner. So that's why as a human being, we should be polite when we talk. If you're too arrogant, then people would resent it. Someone was interested to become a monk, and I was about to ordain him, and his family made a phone call and said, if you dare to ordain my son, you have to suffer the consequences. And I'm also the rebellious type. And when I heard that, I thought, oh, you challenging me? Okay, now let's see what you can do. Then immediately, I shaved his hair. His dad was so domineering that he said, if you dare to shave my son's head, then I'll show you. And I thought, okay, well, I'll take care of your son first, and then I'll take care of you. But your son is already in his late 20s or 30s. It's not your belonging, right? So immediately, I did it. I ordained him. I don't care about the bluff. See, because I had this temperament, that's why I cut my relation with someone. There was the Venerable Huizong, and he was called the Panlekang. Before he was becoming before he became a monk, he came for spiritual cultivation and asked me, where should I be ordained? And I told him, why don't you go to mountain so and so to become ordained? And he did, but he couldn't adapt to the environment there, and he came here instead. And that mountain so and so hired a lawyer and called here, made a phone call, and the lawyer was really arrogant and said, Sangyen Lu, our great master said that you can keep this person and give him room and board, but you could never let him take refuge in you. And when I heard that, I said, hey, back home, pay. Pooh, pa. It's like, I don't care. I don't give a damn about that. He came here on his own, and you instructed me to say that I could only give him room and board, but could never let him take refuge in me. So I asked him, why not? I spoke in Taiwanese, that maybe the translator couldn't translate. It's like literally, it's like you punch the nose when you're washing your face. So it is like a disgrace to that great master. So I call him, come on, take refuge in me, and he did. And okay, now let me ordain you. And he did. He was. So he was Wang Lekang, which is now Master Lian Hai. And he was the education, the educator chief of mountain so and so. Oh, jeez, it's a slip of the tongue. I couldn't say which mountain. So he was the chief educator there. The Reverend Hui Song, which is Master Lian Hai of Two Buddha School now. But if had the lawyer been polite and Master Lu, now he's gone to your place. Well, if he has time to think, and if he wants to come back here, or maybe you can see how the situation is. All depends on affinity. Maybe if he has affinity with you, then he can stay. Or if the lawyer had been speaking like that, then I wouldn't be in such a hurry to ordain him. But the lawyer instead said, "Oh, never take refuge in you, only to give him food and board." But he's not a beggar, right? So why did he talk like that? Actually, I recommended many disciples to go to this mountain to be ordained, because I wasn't ordained when I was in Taiwan before. And then if someone came to me to ask where they could be ordained to become monks, so I recommended them to go to that mountain. So there were many monks there that were sent by me. So it's all the same, right? Why do you discriminate against each other so much? So Grandmaster's heart is all the same. No discrimination. Everyone's the same. Everywhere's the same. So that's why I have more challenges. Of course, after I let Lian Hai to refuge in me, and after I give him ordination, I had to face more obstructions. Oh well, but all is affinity. There are two repayments of a gas company. Was going through for the safety check, and I missed that part. And they raced against each other and said, "Okay, who loses would have to buy the drinks." And they ran, and someone was running after them, so they turned around, and actually, because they did safety checks for the gas around houses, and the owner of the last house, the lady, ran after them, and then they asked her what happened, and she said, "Oh, because when I saw you when you ran right away after you finished checking my gas, so I followed you because I don't know why you ran so fast right away." But they were actually betting who would win, and the one who loses would buy drinks for the night. So there's a reason behind everything, and there's the results, consequences of everything too. So everything has the reason behind it. Then you would know if you mull over it. So in great perfection, what reasons would make you generate radiance? So first, you need to be able to enter into samadhi, that your mind is empty after cutting them completely and thoroughly, after trekcho, then you would be able to enter into samadhi. If thoughts keep running on your mind, that would affect your samadhi, and it would be impossible for you to enter into meditation. So emptying your mind is like falling asleep a little bit. Some people have dreams in their sleeps and some people don't. When you don't have dreams in your sleeps, that would be a little bit similar to samadhi. No dreams whatsoever. Similar to samadhi. At that time, time has stopped. Everything external has disappeared. And at this time, even in your sleep, there would be radiance emitted. Only then you would be able to rejuvenate yourself. And you can heal both your body and mind. That your spirit, your mind, you would be healed and repaired and rejuvenated, and your body too. So even entering samadhi or deep sleep, even when it's only for 5 minutes, then your energy would be totally rejuvenated. Otherwise, even if you sleep for the whole night and it is filled with dreams and you still feel tired when you wake up, that means that your mind continues to churn, that you never rested. If you can truly trekcho, then you can get a complete rest, and the time and the space do not exist. And at this time, radiance can enter into you, and you are also abiding in the radiance. Then you heal both your body and your mind, and you rejuvenate your spirit, even after only a few minutes. After entering into samadhi this way, and when you exit from it, you feel totally re-energized. So sleep is quite a science. There are some fellow disciples who specialize in this sleep disorder, teaching people how to fall asleep, how to sleep. So trekcho is the same as resting. When you're emptying yourself of everything, that's resting. Samadhi is resting, sleeping is resting. But these three different levels, and they're slightly different. Mom asks her daughter, or the son, how come you don't go dating for the weekend? And the son said, but no girls like me. And the mom said, maybe because you don't do anything for her. What would you be willing to do for a woman, for a girl? And the son said, everything. And the mom said, good boy. Then why don't you vacuum the carpet? So this talks about no dating over the weekend. Dating. I did date when I was young. And then eventually, no more datings. Why? Because Simu's mother brought Simu to my house for spiritual consultation. And Simu's mother asked me, take a look at my daughter here. Who should she marry? Simu's mother asked me about the marriage prospect of Simu. And then I did the spiritual consultation. Oh, it turned out to be the mistress of my house. I didn't say it though. I just knew it in my heart. So, okay, I should start dating Simu. And it was quite nice and easy to date her because she left her phone number and I called her. Can I invite you for a movie? Because during that time it was just movies. And Simu thought, oh, that's not bad that someone's inviting me for a free movie. So I brought her to the movies. At that time, I was a vegetarian. For the whole year, when I just became Buddhist, I was a vegetarian. I just followed them. And then they went this way, I went this way. So actually, being a vegetarian is irrelevant of being a Buddhist. After dating for a while, Simu started to find out, why is he only asking me? Actually, that's about it. No big deal. At those times, it was quite an effort to make a phone call because we did not have a phone at the house. I had to go to a public phone. I had to line up and then made the phone call. So it became my habit because when I talk on the phone, people are still lining up to wait. So that's why I make my phone conversation very short and brief. Just get to the points and then cut. Tactile. I just set the points. I just get to the points. And after a few dates, we got married. And that's it. No more to say. You know, human life is like that. We just follow our habits. And we just follow the norm. At that time, I didn't want to get married. Why? Because I wanted to be different. I didn't want to get married. I was the eldest son. From 26, I started to practiced Buddhism, and I still wasn't married at 30, and my parents were not in a hurry, and I wasn't either. Why didn't I want to get married? Well, because I thought, by practicing Buddhism, there's no need to get married. And then one day I was playing basketball with people. See, I can also play basketballs. And I was throwing the balls, and I heard several classmates and co-workers talking about me. So Yendu is 30 already. How come he's not married yet? And then there was a co-worker that said, well, maybe he has problem in one of his parts. I was so mad. I had problems with my part, so I showed it to them. So I had that temperament, rebellious. If you and then her mom brought her for spiritual cultivation. What can I say? That's just affinity. Now, getting married is very good. As long as you can cut thoroughly, trickle, then as soon as your luminosity shine forth, then it would cover all the worlds. And then the small I and everything would enter into the state of no self. So entering into samadhi is the state of no self, because at that time there's no concepts of time and space, and there's no I. So when you open your eyes, you didn't even know where you were. Have you ever felt that way? That when you're in a real deep sleep, and then when you open your eyes again, you have to check, where are you? Sometimes you're at the tantric quarter, and when I open my eyes, it is at the tantric quarter. And sometimes I open my eyes and it's been one night, it's been a night. So I had this experience. So the I or self has disappeared. So in this state of no self, in the state of samadhi, is that I and the universe and everything have merged together to be one. At that time, you have become the universe. So samadhi has that kind of feeling. Guru Padmasambhava said, there is a reason why I transmitted Trekchö to you today. Because he would like to use my pen to guide sentient beings to see their natures, that in this kind of state, that you would be able to see the radiance of the Buddha nature. That in this state you can let your Buddha nature appear. So this is the myriad ways to deliver sentient beings with wisdom as the mother and skillful means as the father, to guide sentient beings. Actually, everything is destiny. The last joke. When you're courting someone or you're chasing after someone, the moon represents my heart. But when you break up, it is because of the moon. And the moon complains, what? It's none of my business. Actually, in this world, there are nothing. There are no issues whatsoever, no problems whatsoever.